everyone, and welcome again to Sam's 10-Minute Tuesdays. I'm Mickey Straub, and I'm with my co-host, Joe Templin, another huge lover of activity management. And today we're talking about a really great topic. It's one of the 4 truisms of activity management, of sales, even in general, that we're covering. And as you know, we covered the first 2 already. And today is truism number 3. It's called what gets measured tends to get done. Just that simple. Hasn't changed since the beginning. What I really love about it is there are so many other industry leaders, like Ed Deutschlander, for example, has a similar saying. He says, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And it's so true in so many aspects of life, especially when it comes to sales, but that's true in a lot of other things too, relevant even in the school system, which I'll go back to. But I know Joe has some great points he wants to make as well. And I'd like to have him chime in.
Yeah, thanks, Maggie. So that saying that Ed is, massaged actually goes back to the 1500s to Rheticus. And the original saying is, if you can measure it, you can manage it. And so we live in a world where almost everything is measurable, whether it's with your Fitbit, whether it's with your SAMBook or SAMSuite. Almost everything can be measured and improved at this stage in the game. And this is one of the things that we have a lot of listeners who are financial reps, and they have their staff. And having a properly designed bonus program or incentive program for a company or for an individual office makes a ton of sense, because people are smart and people are lazy. And so if you design a program that rewards one thing and gives them extra money or time off or ribbons or what have you, people are going to try and maximize around that. And so what you choose to measure is just as important as what you choose not to, and subtly influences people's decisions, or not so subtly in a lot of cases. And so I'm working with a company where we're trying to move them from just performance level into growth mode again. And the CEO and I are talking about what parameters we want to focus on measuring and gamify, have on the big screen so everyone can see the point total associated with them. Because if we emphasize one thing over another, it's going to change the performance of those reps and their actions and activities. Same thing with your office. If you've got a monthly bonus program, it allows the staff to hit the bonus, but not get fat and lazy because you had one tremendous month. And the flip side of that is, even if you have a horrible month because everything goes wrong with underwriting or what have you, it doesn't become an anchor to them for the entire year. So measuring the important things subtly influences the decisions around that. And so this is why Northwestern Mutual still to this day tells brand new reps that you're going to do 25 fact finders per month, or else you're probably not going to be here. In the old days, it was you definitely wouldn't be here. Now it's you're probably not, because that influences the culture and it's easily measured and focused on for those reps. For other more experienced agents, it might be 2 paid financial planning engagements per week. For others, it might be 2 or 3 introductions each and every day. What you're measuring, you can then manage and coach around and get the results that ultimately you're striving to achieve, whether it's $1 million round table, top of the table, 15% growth, whatever the number is. Proper management comes from proper measure.
Yeah, that's on point, because it's really been true in my life. But there's a second part to that saying that we've always had, that we've had in the past. It wasn't enough room to put it on our little list, but what gets measured tends to get done and improve. It doesn't always improve, but the key thing is that you have to measure it to know. And there's something about measurement also that adds a certain degree of accountability to it. People say, well, maybe that's someone who might disagree with me. I'll say, well, what about our school system? The school system has to have some sort of measurement, something to upgrade person from one class to the other, one grade to the next. What gets measured tends to get done. the same is true certainly with everything from flying an airplane, and what gets measured tends to get done. I think it was in Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. He talked about Walgreens measuring how much the average profit per customer visit. In my wife's hospital, it's what's the average length of stay. There's that metric. Usually one or two metrics, is important not to have too many. But what gets measured tends to get done and improved. So that way you have something to go by.
Right.
There's something about
it doesn't have to be a perfect measurement either.
no.
Just having the focus on it tends to create an increase in the skill set around it and the attention around it. And so the focus of the management and measurement can change over time. The parameters can tighten up. You can get better with it, but having something is better than nothing.
Yep.
And eventually, by measuring better and stronger and over a longer period of time, you can see trends of improvement. And that's one of the main advantages of the SAMBook or the SAM suite, is that you can look at your individual performance or aggregate group performance over an extended period. As I always say, I still have my SAMBooks going back to 1995 when I first entered the industry. I can look at my ratios then compared to how they are now. And yes, my business is completely different at this point. Yes, my skill set has improved. Yes, the world has changed from a variety of points of view. But I can see where there's some still fundamental improvements within there and areas of improvement for me to work on this quarter and beyond.
Yeah. What's also interesting is it reminds me of one of your favorite sayings, word that you actually introduced to me just 3 episodes ago, and that is eustress. Yep. And it's something about accountability. It's about measurement that it gives a certain amount of positive tension. It helps us get better. But really, how you know unless you keep score? That's another
Exactly.
One of our favorite sayings. How you know unless you keep score?
And given the fact that there are so many competitive individuals within our professional field, we don't get paid for showing up. There are no participation trophies in sales, right? In the end, it's your production. But having your scorecard looks at the metrics the same way that in baseball, they can look at spin rate, or in hockey, they can look at, shots on goal. All these different things gives a decent indication of whether or not the individual or the organization is doing the activities that make sense to ultimately allow them to win whatever game they're playing.
Yeah. And on that note, it's really true in golf. A lot of golfers are probably on the phone on the this podcast today. It's how many fairways off the tee are reached, how many greens in regulation, what's your average number of putts. Everything about life is about activity, about measurement. Right. And I certainly learned with my daughter and Alyssa in tennis, when they measure everything in tennis. But I watch her go all through USTA, high school, college. They're measuring how many serves are in, how many serves are out, what's your average number of winners. Even maybe not to the point of like the professional tennis players. But speaking of which, before my last comment, I'd like to mention about if anybody hasn't heard John Laurito's video called the 3% of Leadership, it's called. It was a video he did for Gamma International at the LAMP conference in 2019. I look at Laurito, Laurito, great analogy about the power of just using one metric. He used a great example about Novak Djokovic and how he just accrues one little percentage by just 3%, and what really helped him propel to be the #1 tennis player in the world. So,
and the nice thing is, with the people in our space, are the financial representatives that we work with and coach, they can all be #1 in their own space. They can all go and win the game, because ultimately sales is an activity game, and introductions let you win that game every single day.
Great close, Joe. We'll see you again next week.